everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my thoughts on the Monochrome Manga Club selections for the month of January. So the Monochrome Manga Club is an in-real-life manga club that I host, where we read 2 first-in-a-series selections, and we're currently doing 2 full series reads. So our selections for the month of January were Volume 1 of Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games. This has story and art by Eri Ijima, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. And Volume 1 of Night of the Living Cat by Hawkman and art by Mecha Roots. This one is also published by 7 Seas and rated teen. Our 2 series reads currently are Haikyuu. We're reading 3 volumes a month. So for January, we read volumes 7, 8, and 9. And then our other series read is Tokyo Revengers, where we read the omnibus of volumes 7 and 8. So as Tokyo Revengers and Haikyuu are not at the beginning of their series, I will not be talking about these here, but if you'd like to hear my thoughts on these volumes, you can definitely check out my Desus 19 diaries next week. So let's get into my thoughts on our 2 first-in-a-series selections. We'll go ahead and start with Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games Volume 1. So this is a story about a girls' boarding school, and we have a scholarship student, and she kind of crosses path with the most popular girl. And one night she finds this girl playing video games, specifically a fighting game. It's kind of a Street Fighter type video game, or at least that's how it looks to me. And in this school, you're not supposed to play video games. Video games playing is strictly prohibited. And so she finds out this girl's secret, and the scholarship student also kind of has a history with playing video games. And so they kind of get to know each other doing this forbidden thing. And that's pretty much what this volume is about. It kind of introduces you to our 2 characters and the types of games that they're playing, and a little bit of backstory in regards to the scholarship student. This one was okay for me. I think part of the reason why I didn't connect very well is because of the type of game that they're playing. Now, I do play video games. Right now, I'm playing Animal Crossing, and I'm also playing Genshin Impact. Those are kind of the 2 games that I'm spending the most time playing, I would say, currently. I have played Street Fighter in the past. I do have a younger brother, and we used to play Street Fighter against each other quite a bit when we were younger. He always kicked my butt. But in any case, that type of game isn't really my style of game. But there was something about this story where, I don't know, I just could not connect to the things that were happening. Again, the video game style of game that they like to play wasn't the type that I enjoy playing at this moment in my life. This kind of also leans girls' love. The back of the summary on this doesn't really specifically say that it's going to lean that way, but in the story, as you're reading it, it definitely feels like it's going to go in that direction. I do like the art style a lot, but the story itself didn't really grab me. I'm definitely going to have to read a little bit more of this series. I do have 1 more volume. I will say that if I hadn't had that extra volume, I probably would not have picked up the 2nd volume. But since I do already have another volume on my shelves, I am going to read it and see if that will pull me in anymore. There were a couple things that happened in here as far as reactions go to situations that were happening within the story that I didn't really understand or I didn't really enjoy. I think I've told you before that I don't enjoy over-the-top reactions a lot in storylines anymore, and this one definitely had some, but there were also things that happened in the reactions that I didn't understand what the heck was going on. And so when we were at the meeting, a couple of my members were able to tell me what that was supposed to represent. And so I have a better understanding now of what had happened in those situations. But while I was reading it, I was just like, what the heck is going on? And so, yeah, it was okay. I gave this one 3 stars. I will be continuing to the next volume, but only because I already have it. If I hadn't had it, I probably would have just DNF'd the series. So that's my thoughts on that one. And then Night of the Living Cat, Volume 1. I'm doing something different with our Monochrome Manga Club members, and I'm having them bring 3 selections to our meetings now that they would like to read, and then pitch it to the group. And then we're voting on which one we would like to read. And so the very first club member who had brought their selections in December, we chose this one of the 3 selections. This is your typical like zombie apocalypse story, but instead of zombies, it's cats. So we're living in a world now where people are turning into cats. If you are touching a cat or the cat comes and touches you, you turn into a cat. And nobody knows exactly why this is happening, but there are a lot of people who enjoy having cats as pets, right? They love their cats. They love petting their cats. They love getting love from their cats and all kinds of things. And so we're following a group of people in this book who have a love of cats. And they have to fight really hard to resist the temptation to cuddle with the cats that they see, to pet them, to love on them. And you see people in their group become cats. And so I thought this was an interesting story. It definitely has that zombie apocalypse type feel. But I am not an owner of pets. I've never been an owner of pets. And I don't have the same connection to cats or any type of pet. If I were asked if I was a cat person or a dog person, I definitely prefer dogs to cats. So that kind of gave even more of a disconnect for me with this story. But a lot of my members either owned cats previously or have them. And so they really enjoyed this story. I feel like we're over the top reactions, and because I'm not one of those people who are like so in love with cats, I didn't understand like why these people were having such a tough time not like touching the cat or feeling bad about not being able to give them cuddles. And so yeah, there was a little bit of a disconnect for me. I think this probably would have worked a little bit better if there was a little bit more edge to the story. I don't know if maybe later on there might be, but I believe there's an anime adaptation of this series coming out. I'm definitely going to watch that and see if by watching that, I connect to this story a little bit better, and then maybe it will entice me to come back to this series and read more of it. But as of right now, I'm not going to be picking up the 2nd volume of this series. It was enjoyable, though. There are definitely things in here which I did enjoy, like the fact that in between the story, there are little tidbits like this that tells you about the different breeds of cat. So like, for example, this one says brown tabby / pheasant cat. Named so because its coloring resembled that of the pheasant. It is said that the African wild cat, ancestor of the domestic house cat, had similar markings. So those pieces were interesting to me because I know nothing about cats. There were a couple cats that I did know about. Like there's an entry on the black cat. And I think there's a Persian or Russian cat. So I like those. It definitely helps like a reader like me who doesn't really know anything about cats learn about cats and appreciate them a little bit more. And so, yeah, I will definitely be checking out the anime adaptation of this series, but I'm not going to be continuing with this one physically, at least, until it kind of pulls me in, if it does. And so, yeah, I'm hoping that the anime will definitely give me a little bit of a push to read more of that series, but I will say that several of my members really, really enjoyed that volume and even read past where we were supposed to stop because they enjoyed it that much. So if you are a lover of cats, I would really love to know have you read this series and what did you think of it? But yeah, those are my thoughts on our first in a series selections for the month of January. Before I let you go, I do want to let you know what our first in a series selections for February are going to be. So our member selection for the month is going to be Failed Princesses Volume 1, story and art by Aji Ichi. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So this says, opposites attract. Fujishiro Nanaki is super cute, super popular, and super annoyed with anyone as plain as her classmate, Kurokawa Kanade. When Nanaki finds out her boyfriend's cheating on her, however, her life makes a complete 180, as does her relationship with Kanade. So this is a girls' love story, school, probably set in school because they're both in school uniforms, and even the back here looks like they might be in school. And so, yeah, looking forward to seeing what that's like. And then we will also be reading Volume 1 of My Love Mix-Up. I thought it was time that I started this series, and so this was my selection for the month. Art by Ariko and story by Wataru Hinekure. So this one is published by Viz, rated teen. I think a few of my members have read this already. It's been out for a bit. I just haven't gotten to it yet, so I thought it might be a good time to start it. So this one says, Aoki has a crush on Hashimoto, the girl in the seat next to him in class. But he despairs when he borrows her eraser and sees she's written the name of another boy, Ida, on it. To make matters more confusing, Ida sees him holding that very eraser and thinks Aoki has a crush on him. So I've heard really good things about this series. I'm really looking forward to finally starting it. And I thought it was appropriate for the month of February. And so those will be our first in a series selections for February. We will also be continuing our series reads of Haikyuu with volumes 10, 11, and 12. And we will also be reading volumes 9 and 10 of Tokyo Revengers. So that pretty much will do it for me today. Let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of these selections and what you've thought of them, but please no spoilers. Please also remember that if you're interested in joining us on any of our selections or any of our previous selections, you can definitely share your thoughts with us in our Discord, which is linked down in the description box below. So let me know if you will be joining us on our selections for February. Have you already read the selections for February? If so, let me know if you enjoyed it or if you didn't. But don't say anything more than that because I definitely don't want to go into either series like knowing any more than what I already do on them. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a cat emoji for Night of the Living Cat, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy, and until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.